8:06 with Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. We start off with a cool morning headed towards 61 today, partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny and 70 tomorrow. Same on Friday, but 78. And then we hit the 80s for the weekend. The 80s! 80s!
What's with the clouds this morning? I thought we were supposed to have a sunny, beautiful day.
Well, why don't we call up James Spann and complain?
What's
Excuse
going
me,
on
James,
here?
we're getting some clouds over here. We don't care for this much.
It's 36 degrees right now. Where's that sunshine?
We understand you can do something about it.
Somebody messed up on that.
Earlier this week, I mean, it's hard to believe right now. We're looking at 61 degrees for a high today. When,
thank goodness.
what was it, 2 days ago? I think was the day that Snow Miser and Heat Miser worked out that deal where we got 1 day of snow in Southtown. Is that what it was? Mother Nature managed to broker that
Mother
commitment.
Nature, that was something else.
Worked out okay.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Came
And
down fast and furious.
If I heard him correctly, I think James Spann said there may be one more little window of potential chilly weather.
What?
So if you were thinking this weekend with 85 degrees, just check into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take a look again today, too. But I think he said, just hang on just a little longer.
Just a little
Maybe not this
longer,
weekend.
baby.
Mm-hmm.
Stead and Fuller, excuse me, Denson and Fuller. Got to get that right. Denson and Fuller used to be Stead and Fuller. They're my insurance agents. They are local. They are independent. They are right there on Crescent Avenue in Homewood, and they are going to fight for you. They shop around to a number of insurance companies, and they get you the lowest possible premium. Now you say, well, hold on a second. Why can't I just do that myself? Well, the insurance company that you end up with Denson and Fuller might very well be one you've never heard of. And one of the reasons that the premium is so low is that they don't spend $1 bajillion advertising and having a cute little gecko or hiring Flo to be their spokesperson. They just run a good insurance company, and local independent insurance agents book your insurance through them, and then they act on your behalf. So when I have a claim, I simply call C.D. Denson up, and I go, C.D., I got a problem. I need this taken care of. And he goes, done, taken care of. I love these guys. You'll love these guys. Local, independent, DensonandFuller.com, 414-1476, 414-1476. Stuart drops a line to my Facebook page.
What'd Stuart say?
Don't do this, by the way. Richard Marx is a flaming liberal.
If we did that with every artist, Richard, we wouldn't be listening to any music.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be playing any
Do me a
bumper
favor. Name the major musical artist who isn't.
Yeah, I've reached the point
we
now.
would run
and
out of...
You know, I no longer say that. I used to say, like, I don't care for his politics, but I like his music. I don't even bother with that anymore because you're absolutely right. What I responded with is, as I've stated multiple times, I don't let someone's political beliefs keep me from enjoying their art. I enjoy the films of De Niro, the music of Springsteen, the television appearances by Alec Baldwin. If you limit your entertainment choices to people who agree with you politically, you're stuck with Stallone, Kelsey Grammer, Kid Rock, Toby Keith, and Dennis Quaid.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with all
No,
of them.
they're
but
great. But you're very limited. And
we just can't live our life that way.
I'm not engaging in a political debate with these people. I'm just enjoying the product they produce. Lighten up, Francis.
He just doesn't like Richard Marx's voice.
And that's fine. You don't. I mean, look, you don't have to like him. You don't have to like anything, or you can be upset if you want to choose to be. You know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not. I'm only going to enjoy the music of people who I agree with politically. Great.
Knock yourself out.
Knock yourself out. I'm not doing that.
I'm not either. You and I and Steve and all of us have been in, this radio world for a long time. Music formats in the past. And there's a ton of it in our head, and I I can't live my life.
It was quite frankly a happier world when we grew up and we had no idea where someone's political leanings were.
No,
didn't have the slightest notion, and that's the way we liked it.
So I'm hearing basically every musical artist, we don't care about your political opinion, shut the hell up.
Basically, yeah. I tend to agree with Gene Simmons, who said that when he was walking into the Kennedy Center honors. They were like, how do you feel about President Trump? He goes, why would anybody care about my opinion? I stick my tongue out for a living on stage. Like,
make a lot of money.
Stop it.
Uh-huh.
Get over it. If you're taking your political opinions from a musician or an artist of any kind, you're doing it wrong. End of story. All right, let's do this.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Yeah, okay, we wiped out the head of intelligence, Israel and the United States joint effort there in Iran, and that's a big story.
It is big.
And we've got, the situation in our own legislature where they're trying to turn our primaries into closed primaries. Big story.
Yep.
But to me, the one that overshadows everything,
Which one, Richard?
Butterbean Festival's over.
That
What?
is so sad.
Come on, 20 years the Butterbean Festival ran.
Don't let it die.
No, they're
Come
killing
on.
it. It's over. People have put it on.
Ah.
Yep. Since 2006, the Alabama Butterbean Festival has brought people to Pinson to celebrate the Butterbean and take part in family-friendly attractions. And now, they're
done.
pulling the plug. What began as a small community gathering grew into a beloved tradition that brought together friends, families, vendors, and visitors from far and near. We are deeply grateful for every sponsor who believed in us, every vendor who shared their craft, and every attendee who showed up year after year to celebrate with us, according to a representative of the Butterbean Festival. But it is...
Why is it over? What is there a financial issue here? Or
I don't know. They're giving us no
location?
real
Maybe the
reason
person
for
that
it.
put it together said, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Well, how about handing it off to somebody? How could this just be, well, we say that and then we think of city stages.
Yeah. Well, this
And that
this
went
was
away.
always really well attended. I really don't know what the finances were. It took place about a block and a half from my house. And I unfortunately never made it because I was always out of town that week. And so this weekend, this year, I was like,
I'm gonna go.
going to be there.
Oops.
I am making it a point to be in town for the Butterbean Festival. It's going to happen. And now they pulled the plug.
That's just a shame.
Thanks for
I wish
nothing,
somebody would
man.
pick it up and reorganize and get it going.
Let's go.
That's huge.
Multiple allies have declined the U.S. call to help with the Strait of Hormuz. We're asking Germany, Australia, Spain, hey, how about you come over, lend a hand, maybe get some military ships, some of your Navy to help navigate through the strait and, guard some of these ships we're putting through. They're all like, no, thank you. We shall pass. We are going to pass on this. We are not interested any longer.
No one wants their fingers on this.
9. And to his credit, Donald Trump says, great, okay, no, you don't, you know what, we don't need your help. Don't get me wrong. We were just asking because we thought maybe you'd like to be a part of this.
Well,
and,
now he is finding out who our allies are.
Exactly.
Who are the allies of the U.S.
Right.
And no one wants to be an ally in this.
And so the next time one of those countries comes to us and says, oh, God, please help us, we need this. Oh, remember that Strait of Hormuz thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't
And
help
let me
you.
tell you something. Trump
Yeah.
isn't going to forget
Oh, no.
this.
No, he is
will
not.
not forget it.
The man has got a long, unlike Joe Biden, he's got a long memory. Yikes.
Joe couldn't remember where to stand on the stage.
Yeah.
Let's just remember that for a moment.
He had serious problems with that. But no, he's made it clear. I mean, all it takes is that. Look, I told you there's a couple of times that you should really worry about Donald Trump. One is when he goes quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when Kim Jong-un said, oh, we have a rocket, we go hit America from here. And Trump's, instead of being all blustery and being like, he says he can hit us with a rocket. I don't believe he can. I don't think he. Instead, Trump very quietly looked at him and said, do it. See what happens. And that was all he said. And that's where your blood should run cold when someone says that to you.
Ooh, yeah.
And now he says to them, fine, you don't have to help us if you don't want to. By the way, we're going to remember this. Every ally should be like, do we have ships? Can we get something going over here? We need to talk to
You better
somebody."
do something.
Because that's the kind of thing that should just...
It would be smart for all of these countries collectively
Yeah.
to jump in and help.
Take a turn.
Y'all get on the phone and talk with each other. You might want to help the U.S. because if you don't do this, and again, do it collectively, because you don't want this piecemeal together. It needs to be a unified front. All these NATO countries get together, say, yes, we'll all provide something to help you, President Trump, with the Strait of Hormuz and help you with these ships. The fact that they're all backed out of it, it's bad. This is not going. In the end, this is going to be bad for them.
Well, of course, another case could be made that about 20,000 barrels of oil, I think, come through there every day, something like that.
Yep.
It was 20,000 or 20 million. I don't remember. What I do know is that we're releasing enough from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to give us approximately 200 days. We got enough that without that, this will make up for it. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve will make up for whatever's not coming through the Strait of Hormuz. So you could look at it and go, well, Iran, we don't need that oil, so knock yourself out. You're fine.
I say about 20 to 21 million barrels. a
Right, there
day
you go.
go
Okay,
through.
so we've got enough that we're going to be releasing that we can be like, yeah, we don't need that. We're fine. We by the time we do need that, this war will be over and you'll all be dead. So we're fine with this. Don't worry about it. basically take it off the table and remove that power from their hands. Jury deliberations began yesterday, or begin today, I guess, in the capital murder trial of Anaya Blanchard's accused killer, Ibrahim Yazid. That, of course, took place back in 2019. There was a big trial. There were 40-plus witnesses and various testimony for the prosecution, 32 witnesses to the stand and a bunch of other experts, and 0 for the Democrats.
Yep.
I mean,
For
defense,
the
rather.
defense, yeah,
Same
we
thing.
knew what you meant.
Same basic thing.
For the defense,
yeah, for the defense, they had nothing.
That is a terrible look. You
Nothing
always
to work
bring
with.
some expert witnesses in this or in that.
Something.
Somebody, and the fact that they didn't bring anybody is a really bad look for Yazid.
It's going to be tough to imagine anything other than a guilty verdict in this thing, and then we'll see where the sentencing takes us. But maybe by the end of today, we'll have a verdict. 8:17 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, etech.cc, etech communications. Anywhere from 2 to 200 phones for your business. You need like 12. Okay, we can do 12. You need 47. We can do 47. etech.cc. Virtual assistant, call forwarding, even to your cell phone, so that wherever you are, if someone calls your business phone, it rings on your hip, in your pocket, wherever your phone is, and you're able to take that business call right there, even on the golf course. How convenient. etech.cc, they do this all the time. They're going to save you money. Voice over Internet Protocol, etech.cc to find out more. 821. Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5, talk995.com. The U.S. baseball team in the World Championship was wearing hockey jerseys gifted to them by the U.S. hockey team that they were wearing during their gold medal round.
Nice.
Apparently, it didn't work.
No, they were a little heavy.
Yeah, that was
Maybe
the
that
problem.
was it. The weight of the jersey was too much.
Should have removed that thing early on and actually just played in a baseball shirt. Would have been a better idea. 3-2 they lost to Venezuela. Look, be a good sport about it. I saw where one player, while leaving the field, ripped his silver medal off his neck before he even got to the dugout. Guys, don't do that.
No, just be, good sports.
I understand you're frustrated. I get it. But you know what? You played your way up to the championship. You got beat. There's a reason why the World Series is 7 games, because in any given baseball game, it could go one way or the other. I mean, I have watched the Braves beat teams 12-0. I've watched the Braves lose to teams 14-2. And you go, it's the same team, and those games were a week apart. Like, what the hell? The reality is you have off nights, you have, different health situations, different pitchers, obviously, different batters, and consequently, you're not going to get the same game every time. That's why you have to have a series of games. This was one game.
Yeah,
if we played Venezuela 5 more times, we might beat them 4.
Yeah, and you think, I think sometimes we forget that some of these other countries, they've really got some good baseball players, whether it's the Dominican Republic or Venezuela.
Yeah.
I'm
so good, in fact, we steal them and put them on our Major League Baseball teams.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with basketball. I mean, we tend to forget that.
This is the first time that a team other than the United States, Japan, or help me, Steve, is it Mexico, has won this thing?
Mexico might be right. I'll look it up.
Basically, countries that play a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Mexican league. We steal a lot of players from there. Japan has a league that they play baseball very regularly over there. A lot of times when guys' careers are over here, they'll go to Japan and play for another couple of 2-3 years.
Sure, yeah.
And still make decent money doing it. Who is it, Steve?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic is the other one.
Yeah, they won it in 2013. Japan won the first 2. Dominican won 2013. We won 2017. Japan again, and now Venezuela.
Okay. Way to go, Venezuela. Congratulations. You should be very proud of yourself, and you should be very happy that you have got the freedom that Donald Trump has provided you.
Or you could look at it the way I saw one person say this morning, the fact that the United States lost to Venezuela was Donald Trump's fault, which is
of course
an extremely stupid take. Thank you very little for that.
I'm 100% on board with that. What a loser. Why, I can't believe he did that. Here's an interesting tale. There is something called Dirty Rotten Scandals that apparently is on E! You have to say it that way. E! Entertainment
That's
television.
what we call
Yeah.
E.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with us when we do our food runs. E.
Holly Halston. Is that her name? Holly Hallstrom, excuse me. Says her time on The Price is Right came at a steep cost. Former model was showcased as one of Barker's beauties on the show, and she's now speaking out of this new episode of Dirty Rotten Scandals. It examines allegations that the beloved game show was marred by a hostile work environment, sexual harassment, and discrimination. Bob Barker, who hosted the show for 35 years, died in 2023 at the age of 99. Hallstrom appeared on the show from 77 until she was fired in 95, a decision she has said was blamed on weight gain caused by medication. However, Hallstrom alleges she was actually dismissed after declining to publicly support Barker when fellow model Diane Parkinson filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against him in 1994. Barker consistently denied wrongdoing and maintained that any relationships were consensual. I want people to know the whole story, not just Barker's side of it, Hallstrom said. After all these years, people who have only heard one side are going to hear the other side, and our side is court-documented testimony. You can't argue against that. Of course you can. When Hallstrom was invited to come on down and audition for the show, she said she was immediately sold. On stage, contestants competed for prizes by trying to guess their exact retail value, a game which I was really good at, a simple premise that quickly became a television sensation. I thought it would be like working for the circus every day. It was so bright, big, colorful. People were so happy and excited to be there. It was just a wonderful environment. I thought, I would love to work here. Plus, they're going to pay me all this money. It was very exciting. It was scary, don't get me wrong. It was terrifying to be auditioning for a show that size, and it's a live audience, live theater. She said she was very young, kind of a new thing. She loved her job. I thought, this is what you got to do. When suddenly she was told to get breast implants. Got to get the job, keep the job, okay, whatever you say. Turns out I hated them, she said. I hated them for years and years. And the fact that I had to pay for them didn't surprise me because the executive producers at the time was cheap. He's like, I'm not paying for them. You want this job? You pay for your breast implants yourself.
Wow.
When Diane filed her lawsuit, oh boy, that was the beginning of when everything got really bad, Hallstrom said. I thought the whole situation, all the publicity, all the media attention, I thought it was horrible. I thought it was tacky. I was glad Mark Goodson had died in 1992. We would have been mortified to see the kind of tacky scandal on what was a family show. Didn't want to be involved at all, said Hallstrom. Barker wanted us to go on all these talk shows and say he was the victim and that Diane was lying. I didn't participate because I didn't want to, and I thought it was tacky. And also because I could not honestly say, oh, yes, Diane is lying, or, oh, no, Diane is not lying. I was not present for those conversations. I just avoided doing all of Bob's PR tour. Finally, I was told I would be appearing on the Suzanne Summers show, period, and I did. Of course, all they wanted was for me to say that Diane was lying. When Suzanne asked me, if I thought Diane was lying, I babbled some answer, and that was that. Then that week, I read in the tabloids, Holly says Diane is lying. I never said that. I called the tabloid and demanded a retraction. They printed a retraction, but that was the beginning of the rift between Bob and me. That's when I got on his list.
Yeah, on his
that list.
Get rid of her list.
And eventually she was disposed of. You know, Bob Barker was such a well thought of, all across America in living rooms, housewives everywhere, you know. It's no wonder that when the accusations came out, everybody took his side because they were just like,
Yeah, that that he couldn't have possibly have done that.
he wants me to spay and neuter my pet. Obviously, he's a good guy. He may very well have been back there horribly sexually harassing Diane Parkinson. I have no idea.
Could have been. That's the problem. You've got one person saying it about another.
Mm-hmm.
But were there witnesses to this?
Without having that information, we'll never know.
Don't know.
But I can tell you this. No sick day was complete without an episode of The Price is Right.
That was your go-to.
Chicken
on your
soup,
sick day,
crackers,
and the TV with Bob Barker on it.
little 7-Up.
Yep, that's why we
and-
got good at the show.
Absolutely. Also,
Guessing the prices.
I worked at a grocery store for 3 years. I was great at guessing
And the
prices.
thing that I
Even though they were
noticed-
L.A. prices, I
Yes,
just kind of jacked
that-
everything up by a few pennies.
That was the thing. Everybody was like, "That seems really high on
Mhm.
these prices." Well, where are they getting the numbers from?
Right.
California.
How much is this Love My Carpet carpet cleaner? Okay, it's some stuff you sprinkle on the carpet and vacuum up. In Birmingham, that's $4.50. In L.A., that's $214.
It was really high. That's why it was
Nailed it.
difficult
Right
to
on the
play the
penny.
game
Yeah.
because you're like, I don't know what California prices are.
There's also a great documentary called The Perfect Bid, and it's on Hulu, I believe. You can check it out there. It's really interesting about a guy who managed to nail the bid 100% to the point where they stopped the show for 45 minutes and began questioning, is this guy cheating? What's
Yeah.
going on? How did he get
Got a
it
little
exactly?
earpiece in.
No one's ever gotten it exactly right. He did. It's pretty impressive. I knew just from the opening riff that was Ricky Skaggs, right? One of the baddest guitar players in country music. This guy is frighteningly fast and good, and I don't think he was ever appreciated enough for his guitar playing. He don't really. Is he dead or?
Oh no, he's still alive.
Okay,
Well,
I remember he was.
You're killing him off.
I remember he was injured at one point, and I don't remember how or why, if it was an illness or what. But I knew that he was off the road for a while.
Not only can he do this, he can do this on the guitar. He can do it on the banjo. He can do it on mandolin.
Yes,
That's
and
impressive.
it's just as fast and as talented on any of them.
he's really quite astounding to see.
And this
8:30
video is kind of funny because they did this in downtown New York City,
Yeah.
and the mayor at the time was Ed Koch,
Yeah.
and they got him to sing that part.
Oh, that's very funny. I do seem to recall this. I just seem to recall this video. So this was Ricky Skaggs was one of those guys who was in country music and just kind of getting started. He was right there along with Randy Travis and John Anderson, and they were sort of the resurgence of the standard good old-fashioned country that was coming back around again in the early 80s. And, that's the kind of country I love. 837 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. I also love the fact that we're going to be in the 80s, the low 80s, and then later maybe the upper 80s this weekend.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And that could involve us, water, boat, Suzuki Power, Rodney's Marine, all of that.
That's what it's all about. And they've got the Starcraft and Silverwave pontoons, the Savannah Center console boats. Folks, if you've not seen these, and we've been out on one of the boats that Rodney's Marine has that you can rent, by the way. It's like brand spanking new, and it's got that Suzuki engine on the back of it. 5 years of motor protection, some incredible rebates, and the thing that Rodney loves about the Suzuki engines is that they are quiet, fuel efficient, reliable, and they will buzz across the lake, no doubt about it. So when you're ready to purchase a boat, and this is an excellent time to do it, prices are fantastic at Rodney's Marine. This is where you want to get your boat. And you don't have to necessarily do your boating on Lake Logan Martin. It could be Smith Lake. It could be Lake Martin. It could be a lot of different lakes across central Alabama. Rodney's Marine will get that boat to you, deliver that boat to you wherever you want to be. And then if it needs service, he's happy to take care of you. Rodney's Marine, get in touch with him today, 525-1500, 525-1500. Highway 231 out there on Lake Logan Martin and Cropwell. Visit them on Facebook and rodneysmarine.com. But get your boat now. Get out on the lake and enjoy yourself with Rodney's Marine.
What about a river? Got to go on a river? No?
It's got to be a big river.
Big river?
Big.
Like the Mississippi?
Big. Black
be a big
Warrior,
Mississippi?
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
All righty.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Big river. Because these are not teeny tiny
No,
boats.
these are not little dinghies.
No.
Thank
they're
you,
very
Johnny
nice.
Cash.
Mm-hmm. You okay over there, Richard?
No.
You having a hard time?
I am.
Did you swallow incorrectly?
I did.
That's what happened?
It happens.
It does.
Have you heard the rumor that the Ayatollah, who may not be around any longer, the new Ayatollah, might be gay?
Yeah, I think Donald Trump, our good president, maybe threw that out there that that was a possibility.
He was apparently briefed on it. The story is that Khamenei, the son of the original Khamenei, this is Mujtaba Khamenei, he apparently was engaged in a long-term physical relationship with his teacher.
His mentor.
I was waiting for you to say pool boy.
Did they have those? I don't
It
think
was
they have
his.
those
It was his teacher at a young age. Now, here's what really gets me. He had an affair with a person who formerly worked with the Khamenei family. Long-term sexual relationship with his childhood tutor. This is a strange thing. We saw this in Afghanistan over and over again. You had these leaders, Islamic leaders, and they would have young boys as concubines. And our troops would lose their minds over this and be like, this is child abuse that's taking place before our very eyes. And our military leaders were like, this is their culture. You got to let it go. In many cases, the young boys' parents were 100% on board with it.
Facilitating it
yes,
almost,
exactly.
huh? Yeah.
Well, I mean, every one of the men that is there now was at one point a young boy who was part of that process, So it's funny to me that these guys have no problem using young boys for that situation. And then later, when it turns out that they actually really like being the catcher in that situation, and they decide they want to keep that going on through the rest of their lives, it's like, oh, he's gay, he has to die now.
Yeah, then they kill him.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. That's a great culture to live in, isn't
It's
it?
a terrible.
Just unbelievable.
It's a terrible culture. It doesn't make any sense,
It
of course,
doesn't.
for starters. But the interesting thing here is that if he is, in fact, gay, that would explain why he wasn't part of the first 46 people that we killed?
Yeah.
You know, you're like, we're gathering all the leaders together in one place, and we're going to kill them all. And that's exactly what happened is we dropped a bomb on that, and we wiped out 46 levels of leadership in Iran in one fell swoop.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy wasn't in the room.
No,
Why
he wasn't
not?
a part of it. Wow.
Because his dad was like, I question whether or not he's fit to run the country because of the gayness.
Well, and again, you just said it. I mean,
Yeah.
If that's how he was brought up, they facilitated that.
Mhm.
That's on the adults in the room.
You would
That's on the
think.
parents in the room.
Yes, but
that's
it happened.
on him.
Everybody went through that. Everybody who was in that room at one time or another had been a young boy that was probably abused by one of the leaders or something of that nature. That is unfortunately the way of the world, especially among the elite in that part of the world. And for this guy to continue to go down that road was, the cardinal sin, which is why Dad was like, I don't think he can.
Well, how screwed up is that?
That's incredibly screwed up.
That's so screwed up.
It's
right.
a complete
You do
and
this
utter
to
mess. Yeah.
this child is raised in a certain way.
Mhm.
Your belief system is that anyone that is gay, you cut off their head,
Yeah.
you kill them, right?
Yeah.
They have no rights, no nothing. You kill them if you find out that
Mhm.
there are two people that are in a relationship like that.
Mhm.
But yet, in your little circle, all of that is okay. Wow. Wow.
Do you think it's possible
Really
that
messed up.
maybe he wasn't gay? Maybe he may have had some feelings for women. He just hadn't really accessed them to that degree. He could have been the Bayatollah.
Jeez, Richard. What a weird.
Better than the Gayatollah.
I
That just
mean,
doesn't quite work, you know?
the whole concubine thing and the
Oh, yeah.
how many virgins when you you believe your God believes that you need to do away with Christians and Jews. I mean, talk about being all over the map.
Yeah.
There's nothing consistent when you talk about that.
I'm always fascinated in and I learned a lot of this when I was in school in a class called Religions of the World, which did nothing but spark my interest in continuing to research. So when you look at how the Islamic religion was formed and the very beginnings of it and how it got going, you kind of go like, okay, this is messed up on so many different levels. Like this is a screwed up, I by the way, you can look at a lot of the early stuff in Christianity and say the same thing, but the very basis of the Christian religion is not a mess. The very basis of Islam is one of those things that you look at and you go, okay, and I would urge you, don't take my word for it, go and research it for yourself and use your cognitive powers to understand what was taking place at that time, because there was a lot of funny business around the birth of the Islamic religion. And then, of course, it splintered off into various sections and so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's a mess of epic proportions. That does not mean, by the way, that every single Muslim is a terrible person. I have several friends who are Muslim. I also think, by the way, that there are other various and sundry religions that are a mess, and I have friends who are members of those who are the most upstanding, wonderful people you'll ever meet. You can pick on the religion, don't pick on the believers, basically, is what it comes down to. Unless, of course, they're going to try to blow you up, in which case that's a
right,
problem.
or kill you.
Yeah.
That is a huge problem.
That is a problem.
Mhm.
But this one is odd because I don't know if this can be used for leverage. Quite frankly, we haven't heard from this guy in days. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
He's dead.
I feel pretty
I
certain
think that
he's
if
dead.
he were alive, he'd be like, "Here I am."
And I think they're fairly smart in saying, let's not name a new leader or anything because they'll just kill him too. Or if we name one, we'll keep it quiet. We're not going to make a big announcement. You're going to be like, okay, Bill, you're in charge now. Are you sure? I don't really feel comfortable with this.
Oh, now he's dead.
I was the janitor yesterday. I don't think I should.
Yeah, they would be wise not to, again, name whoever that leader is.
No.
Because it will just be a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah.
And they'll be found.
And Israel will
they'll be
track them
gone.
down and drop them.
But no, we appreciate. Go ahead and
Mhm.
keep telling us who the next leader is, and again, that helps Israel and the U.S. to determine who the person is and
Yeah.
take them out.
Exactly.
If they start being quiet about it, that might not be such a good thing.
We'll see how this goes. 847 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. You're welcome to drop us a line. Let us know what happens to be on your mind. 545-9950. $850 Talk 99.5. Talk995.com. The name of the company is DrivewayWashing.com, but they wash so much more than driveways. It's pressure washing, sure, or soft washing, depending on how you want it done. If you want, for instance, your siding cleaned, as I do, I'm going to have Cody come out and give me an estimate on getting the back of my house done. I had the front done a couple of years ago, but I understand that Cody can do it for a little bit less than the folks who did the front. I'm excited about that. The prices are right. They're not the cheapest, but they are certainly the best, reasonable prices, and their quality is absolutely top-notch. And when I say Cody, Cody's the owner of DrivewayWashing.com. So I'm going to be dealing with the owner. You'll be dealing with the owner, too, when it comes to the estimate. Now, he might not be the guy doing the work, but only the most vetted, most wonderful people are going to be doing the work. It's not a tiny company. I can tell you that. How else could they do barbers? They actually do barbers. They do local schools, the BJCC. They did, before the World Games, they did Protective Stadium. Yeah, they clean that whole area up. That's what DrivewayWashing.com can do. Not just driveways, obviously. Residential and commercial, patios and decks and roofs and stain removal, siding, gutter cleaning, rust removal, outdoor windows. You name it, they'll make it happen, and the estimate is always free. Average job will take 3 or 4 hours. They can even do it while you're not home, if you would prefer. Like, you take off for work, you come home, the house is clean. Wouldn't that be nice? DrivewayWashing.com to find out more. DrivewayWashing.com. Or call them at 915-0646. You can text them there, too. 915-0646. That's in the 205 area code. DrivewayWashing.com. Some of the texts we have received thus far today. Robbie sends us a picture of his little Sheltie family.
Oh, such cute dogs.
Mm-hmm. Look, if you're ever wondering, should I send them a picture of my dog? The answer is always going to be yes.
Yes.
Always. 100%.
Yes.
Drew sends us a picture of Bruno and says he's in favor of this new law.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno has his security blankie.
No.
I have a dog like that. Cersei's always dragging something
See,
around
Lucy,
with her.
my Lucy always has a soccer ball that she
Love
kind of needs.
Love that.
You know.
Let's see. Drew. Hold on. Where am I? No, I was Drew. Okay. Richard, the cop, says the reason they canceled the Butterbean Festival, all the Butterbeans farts were damaging the ozone. Jeff says, why are we even in NATO? A good question.
Mm-hmm.
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization?
Well, this might cinch the deal right here. Donald Trump is really upset about this.
We're the ones who protect Europe when things go south over there. And if we decide that we're not going to do this any longer, then they can figure out who they're going to get on their side. Maybe you can team up with Russia and you can all attack Ukraine together. Wouldn't that be fun? Terry from Trustful says, don't forget Trump has less than 3 years remaining in office. Yes, I'm well aware. Jerry the Angry Tucker points out that Billy Strings is also an awesome musician. Yeah, great guitarist, no question. I saw him and Tommy Emmanuel playing together. Tommy Emmanuel is a frighteningly good guitarist. He's an older guy. He played at the Lyric here not that long ago. Again, weeknight, couldn't go. But Tommy will play 2 Beatles songs on his guitar at the same time. And I mean, like on the lower strings, he'll be playing Ticket to Ride, and on the upper strings, he'll be playing Eleanor Rigby. It's really amazing. This guy is so freaking talented, it's scary. Can't sing to save his life, but he can play a guitar like nobody's business. Let's see. Mike says, river life beats lake life any day of the week, nothing better. I don't mean to start a war. I mean,
No.
You enjoy what you enjoy, and the people who enjoy the lake, and everyone can do their own thing. And there's no reason to really be all that worked up about it. E says, hey, if Rodney's Marine has any wheelchair-accessible boats, I would be more than happy to do advertising with you all and us going for a ride.
You can, you can roll right onto that pontoon.
Exactly. And there's
no problem there.
There's a fence all the way around it. You know, there's a little wall, so there's no chance of you rolling off. Now, it'd be fun if when we did it, you left the brakes off.
Richard.
Just roll back and just wah, 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 back and forth across. No?
No.
Okay.
Not with E.
Yeah.
Be sweet.
Then when he's not paying attention, we open one of the gates, he goes right out.
It's also wrong. We could put him like in an inner tube and pull him from, around the back of the boat.
So basically,
you would have fun with that.
I have a problem. It's my fault that we suggest he take the brake off. You're like, let's drag him behind a boat.
I think what you
a good idea.
What you just said was a bit abusive.
No,
What I'm saying
but dragging him behind a boat is
you
fine.
drag everybody behind the boat.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Not
I'm
just
not so
E.
sure
Everybody does that. Now, not everybody can go like you said, rolling up
you
and
can
down.
What
the heck is that?
If you're in a wheelchair,
that's
you can.
abusive.
Anybody can be in a wheelchair and do that.
You know what? You stay here. Steve West and I will take E, and we'll go out on one of Rodney's boats.
I think if you did,
that is just plain.
if you did the inner tube, you could probably get away with like a donut. One of the donut inner tubes. He's a little guy.
There's a special place. You're going to end up there if you're not careful.
Grumpy Old Goat says, take me down to my boat on the river. And he put musical notes by. What
nice.
Song is this? I don't.
Take me down to my boat on the river.
I don't
know it.
I don't know that song.
I don't either. Do you know it, Steve?
Steve's not talking to us.
He's ignoring us. He doesn't want any part of this conversation.
Wise move.
Apparently, it was done by Styx. It's called
really?
Boat on the River.
Boat on the river.
We got to hear a little of this.
On the album Cornerstone, 1979.
All right, see if you can dig it out for us.
Will we recognize it? That's the question.
Katie sent us a picture of Pickle celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Pickle looks lovely.
Well, that was yesterday.
Yes, it was.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean,
Haven't we moved on?
did I not just say, send us pictures of your dog? I just said that.
I
So
thought
she
you
sent
said
a
pickle.
picture of this. Pickle the dog.
Oh, well, you didn't say that. You just said a pickle. And I was like, well, I had an image of a pickle.
And now we got somebody
like-
sending us a picture of their cat. We don't want those.
No cats.
No cats.
This is about dogs.
Cats are
and
evil.
no pickles either.
Evil and wrong.
Unless your dog's name is Pickle. Here it is. Who's the artist?
Styx.
Styx, yeah. Tommy Shaw playing mandolin.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm bored.
Do we know this?
I'm bored of
Wait,
this.
let it get to the hook. No, it doesn't sound familiar. No. Not
Yeah.
good.
Oof.
No offense, grumpy old goat, but that's bad.
Yeah. I prefer.
My gosh, Dennis DeYoung's playing an accordion.
Oh, wait.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Thanks. Oof.
Stand-up bass,
Mm.
mandolin, accordion,
Oh.
and hand cymbals.
I don't know.
Mm.
This is a weird song.
This is very odd.
Yeah. I'll take Mr.
The lyrics
Roboto
are
over
weird.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Roboto.
I don't like Mr. Roboto at all, but
I'm with you on that, though. That's a really bad song by Styx. What album is that off of?
he said Cornerstone.
Cornerstone, 1979.
Oh.
79.
Thank you.
Carrie said, hi, Richard, Val, and Steve. I'm Tootsie Roo. Sent a picture of his dog.
Pretty looking little pup.
That's a
Yeah.
cute puppy.
Yeah. It's on top of
That's
the
an adorable puppy.
on top of the outdoor table there.
Uh-huh.
Kind of weird. Don't put the dog on the table. Never mind, I'm busy that day, says E. Okay, fine.
Oh, E,
Mm.
we'll take you. Don't do it. Richard doesn't have to be there that day. Since he talked about what he wants to do with you on that boat, that's not very nice.
Corey says, is that special place the stage at the Stardome, Val? I appreciate the joke. Speaking of jokes, where the hell is Jeff's joke of the day? Is he out of town again? Did we give him permission to leave town? I don't think we did.
We didn't.
Jeff, from now on, we are really going to need a signed note from your mother.
I think
before
Jeff
you're
has
allowed
given
to
up
leave.
on us. He's like, the heck with those.
James
people.
points out that the river Styx is in Hades. We know that. This has nothing to do with that. This is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
More pictures of dogs. Keep them coming, I say.